Hey, what's up guys? August Lights Perfume here again, and this is the third installment, the third video in our little mini series, mini course on perfumery. Now, now you know about your alcohol, basic practices and rules of perfumery. You also know about some more things. You know about the chemicals which I told you about in the previous video in the series. Now, this is going to be by far the most interesting video because we're going to be discussing in this video the actual fragrance components. You see, the things we discussed so far are nothing but the base of your perfume, right? Now we're actually going to be discussing your actual fragrance components, the things which are actually going to make up the scent and fragrance of your perfume. So let us get started without wasting any more time. So there's basically three types of fragrance components available in the market that are used in perfumery. First is your essential oils, which I'm pretty sure all of you must have heard about. Then there's the infamous fragrance oils, and there's your aroma chemicals. So those three are the options available to you. So let us break these down in detail one by one. So number one, we have essential oils. Now, for example, this is an essential oil, vanilla essential oil here. Now, what an essential oil is, it's basically an all natural extract of things that are found in nature, which it's made out of totally made out of the things that are found in nature. So it's not synthetic, it's all natural. There's no chemicals added into essential oils. And you can only have an essential oil made out of things which are found in nature. For example, it could be flowery like ylang ylang, it could be lavender, it could be lily of the valley, it could be rose, jasmine, all of those good things. It could be woods, it could be cedarwood, it could be your sandalwood, it could be something like, in fact, your it could be citronella, like I said. It could be even fruits. Something like grapefruit or citrus, fresh, all of their fresh smelling essential oils like I said, grapefruit and all of that good stuff. It could be oak moss. All of these things, if you notice, are found in nature, and it is possible through the distillation process to take oil out of them, to take extract out of them. So if you want to make an all natural perfume, essential oils are the way to go. But essential oils are not just something which are used in just homemade perfumes or DIY projects or in all natural perfumes. No, they are a legitimate ingredient which can be used in your perfumes, right? Now, moving on, we have the infamous fragrance oils now. Here, for example, I have this Brute Musk fragrance oil by this brand. Now, what are fragrance oils? And there's a lot of confusion surrounding fragrance oils, and I want to clear all of the confusion here. So, what fragrance oils are? They are, first of all, totally synthetic. There's absolutely nothing natural about fragrance oils. Fragrance oils are this pre-mixed, pre-packaged package in bottle, right, in bottle form, and everyone, basically someone, some company, some person in that company has made this formulation for you, and all you need to do to make a fragrance out of a fragrance oil is add in your fragrance oil and then top it off with your alcohol, and that's it, you're done, right? You're done, you have a perfume. Now, this is also why fragrance oils are sort of looked down upon in the fragrance community, because you are skipping through the process of creating your own accords. You're skipping through the process of the creative process of perfumery. For example, someone who uses essential oils, let's say, what would he do? He would create a unique smell, right? That person would create a unique smell, a unique scent of their own. For example, maybe they decide to use neroli essential oil I have here, along with citronella essential oil and vanilla essential oil, right? Maybe they decide that this is a unique combination. When used in a combination, this could be really good, this could give you extremely good results. So that was their creative mind, that was their creativity. And then again, they could play along with percentages. Maybe they want to use more of neroli, maybe they want to use more of this or more of this, and maybe they want to use less of this. So all of that good stuff that makes a big difference, and that is actually the creative process of making an accord. Now, what an accord is essentially when you mix stuff, two or more things, and create your own unique scent. Individually, this is a note. Individually, this is a note. Individually, anything is a note, right? Any fragrance component is a note. But when you mix multiple notes, for example, we mix a bunch of these, I just gave you an example, right? Now that is known as an accord, when you mix individual notes and make a fuller, more complicated, complex scent of its own. By itself, vanilla essential oil has a simple smell, but when you mix it with multiple other essential oils, it can be it can turn out to be a very complex smell, right? So that is the creative process of creating an accord. But when you use something like a fragrance oil, which is basically a shortcut, right? A company just manufactured this for you. You skipped through entirety of the creative process of making an accord and creating a perfume. So it's a shortcut, which is why fragrance oils are looked down upon. Now, fragrance oils are totally synthetic. They can be there's chewing gum flavored and ocean mist flavored fragrance oils out there. There's, in fact, cotton candy flavored essential oils out there. Fragrance oils, my bad, out there. So these are lab made, so anything is possible in a lab. You don't really have to, they don't have to be natural. But with essential oils, there's only a bunch of them because there's only a limited number of things which oil can be extracted out of in nature. So there's a limited number of essential oils, which is why essential oils is an ideal choice, especially with the beginners, because they're really easy to understand and the information is abundant. Now, something more about fragrance oils which you must know is that a lot of people say that they're not even perfumery material. Why are you using fragrance oils in a perfume? They're more like hand sanitizer material or your soap making material or candle making or incense stick making material. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Technically, yes, you can actually make a pretty solid perfume using just fragrance oils and your alcohol and the bunch of chemicals which I told you about in the previous video. Yes, it is definitely possible. It is totally doable. I do not recommend that because it's not going to be very unique, okay? You're just buying this pre-packaged material bottle which anyone can do, mix it with alcohol and create essentially the same fragrance as you, right? The second reason why I don't like this idea of creating perfumes using fragrance oils, using just fragrance oils, is because if this company shuts down, my formulation and my brand, the perfume I made, is done for. I will have to reformulate because there's no way I will be able to ever find this same mixture ever again because the company shut down and they don't even mention the exact chemicals which have been used in these bottles. So you never even know what's actually going into these bottles. So this is why I don't like using or I don't like heavily relying on fragrance oils. That's another reason. And obviously, like I said, the end product is not extremely unique. It is still sort of unique, but not extremely unique, right? Now, you may do something creative like using a fragrance oil in a combination with a bunch of essential oils. Now, that is something amazing, okay? That could give you amazing results, but heavily relying on fragrance oils, I would say it's not worth it. So why do people say that these are not perfumery material and these are more like hand sanitizer materials and stuff like that? Well, you need to understand this. There's a bunch of reasons for that. Reason number one is obviously that, you know, you need to understand that all these people who make your hand sanitizers, your medicated soaps, they are not really perfumery specialists, right? What these guys are, they just know how to, their specialty is creating good quality medicated products which are going to kill 99.9% of germs, right? Someone who makes hand sanitizer, you can't expect him to learn perfumery first. You can't expect him to learn how to make good smelling things and scents first in order to in order for him to make good quality medical hand sanitizer products, right? You can't expect him to do that. So it's justified for such people, for a hand sanitizer manufacturer, for example, it's justified for people like them But what excuse do you have as a perfumer, as someone whose main sort of job is supposed to be creating unique scents? You don't really have any excuse to use these prepackaged fragrance oils, right? So that was all about fragrance oils. Now moving on to the third type of fragrance components, that is your aroma chemicals. Now those are the big players. For example, I have this bottle of this aroma chemical called Hedion here, which is supposed to be a single, extracted jasmine molecule, right, modified and altered, synthetically made in a lab. To me, Hedion doesn't even smell like jasmine. What it smells like is just floral in general. But anyways, it's supposed to be jasmine. Now, what an aroma chemical is... Oh wow, I just tore my gloves, by the way. Well, anyway, getting back to the video. What an aroma chemical is supposed to be is... An aroma chemical is supposed to be this lab-made, single, simplified molecule, extracted molecule out of all of the fragrances, which are totally synthetic. They're lab made. There's nothing natural in them. So this is supposed to be a single jasmine molecule, lab made, extracted, and packaged for your use. That is what an aroma chemical is. Now, the thing about aroma chemicals that you must know, there's a bunch of things. First of all the major big players, big brands out there are using mostly aroma chemicals. It is absolutely rare for a perfume to have any essential oil, right? It is absolutely rare for a perfume to have any essential oil at all, right? Now, I'm not saying that essential oils are not used. They definitely are. In fact, you could make a perfume which can rival all of these perfumes which are made using aroma chemicals, using just essential oils. You can definitely do that, but generally it's not done. There brands out there majorly use aroma chemicals, and it's extremely rare, not extremely rare, but definitely rare for a brand to use any essential oil, for example, except for maybe just a few drops of some essential oil or some extract. But usually all your perfume is 95% of the times, 90 to 95% of the times, it is aroma chemicals. Now, I have something against aroma chemicals. I don't have anything against synthetic based perfumes, obviously. I am a natural perfume person, but still, I don't really have anything against chemicals, but I do have something against aroma chemicals, especially when it comes to beginners. And that is, sourcing these materials is hard. There's only a bunch of websites, a couple of websites out there, and you will have to like roam around the market trying to source these aroma chemicals, because a lot of them are not even sold in these little bottles. For example, this bottle I had to package myself. It came in they come in big quantities, for example 1 liter at least, or even 10 liters, right? So it's extremely hard finding them, especially when you're just starting out, in these little bottles, in these little quantities. So they're not even available in such small units, such small quantities. They're only available to manufacturers and big brands who have such high requirements. So sourcing the aroma chemicals is definitely a problem. So if you're starting out, if you can get your hands on aroma chemicals, you definitely should. That's great. But if you cannot, you can just use essential oils. It's totally fine. Do not worry. Or you can use fragrance oil combined with essential oils. Now that is something which I personally like to do, and I think it's extremely underrated. Right? Definitely give it a try. Right? Now, there's something, just one final thing which you must understand about fragrance oils. Fragrance oils are also made out of aroma chemicals, right? Yeah, that's what's used, that's what's in the bottle. A bunch of aroma chemicals as base notes, mid notes, and top notes, created by someone else. You don't know what exactly they used, right? Most of these brands don't even tell you, and it's just pre-packaged and bottled for your use, for your convenience. Now, what an actual perfumer would do is take something like Hedion, which is a single aroma chemical, and like 8 to 10 or maybe 4, 5, 6 more aroma chemicals, mix them, create his own unique fragrance oil, so to speak. Technically, that's what he's doing, right? And create his own smell, right? That's what he'll do. So, yeah, now let's move on. This was all about your three types of fragrance components. Now let's move on and discuss about chords, right? About bass notes, mid notes, and top notes. Now what is that? Now, all of these fragrance components can be classified into base notes, mid notes, or top notes, depending on their molecular weight. Now, what does that mean? Now, first of all, what is a base note? You're probably seeing a diagram right now on your screen as I speak. I will make sure to edit that in and display a diagram so that you can better understand. Now, base notes are the heaviest. They evaporate. They don't evaporate quickly at all, right? If it's been 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours since you applied the perfume and you can still smell the faint smell of a perfume, chances are high that you're smelling the base note, right? They don't evaporate easily at all. Mid notes are lighter compared to base notes, but they're definitely heavier than top notes, and they are the heart of the perfume. The midsection of the perfume, they don't evaporate as easily as top notes, but definitely are more volatile than base notes are. And moving on to our top notes, top notes are the easiest to evaporate. They are very lightweight. They have very lightweight molecules. So you immediately smell top notes as soon as you spray a perfume. For example, if I spray this right now, if this little bottle, if I spray it right now, yes, I immediately smell the freshness, right? By the way, this is the formula that we're going to be making in the next video. Anyways, we'll save that for later. So you immediately smell the freshness for a couple of seconds, and then the freshness, the spiciness just fades away, right? So that freshness is your top notes. So a perfume is a combination of base notes, mid notes, and top notes. Now, what percentage of base notes and mid notes and top notes go in, right? Now, obviously, for example, vanilla essential oil here is a base note, and grapefruit essential oil here is a top note, and your citronella essential oil, something like citronella, is a mid note, right? So these are all classified. All of these fragrance components, your essential oils and aroma chemicals, are classified into base notes, mid notes, and top notes, and you need to understand and learn how to classify them. And how do you know if something, for example, if an aroma chemical or an essential oil is a base note or a mid note? You definitely do need to understand that, and I'm going to tell you how in this video. But first of all, how much of base notes go in, how much of mid notes and top notes go in? Well, that all, again, there's no rule, there's no general rule, there's only guidelines, and it all depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make something more balanced, you might want to have mid notes as your main ingredient and lesser of base notes, more of mid notes, and a little bit of top notes. Do not overdo the top notes. The max you should go, in my humble opinion, for beginners is 20% top notes, right? So, but if you want something which is more longer lasting, you definitely want those heavier aroma chemicals or essential oils in there, right? So you definitely want more of base notes if you want something which is going to last longer. So you can go with something like 50% base. In fact, the formula that we're going to be working on is this formula. This is noted down: 50% base notes, 30% mid notes, and 20% top notes. That's the formula that we're going to be working on in the next video in this series. So yeah, that was all about how much of base notes and mid notes and top notes go in. Now, how do you identify if something is a base note or a mid note or a top note? Now, with fragrance oils, if you're using fragrance oils, it's really easy. Again, there's no work involved. It already has, this is a pre-mixed solution, right? This is a shotgun. It already has base notes, mid notes, and top notes. So all you need to do is pour this in and pour your fragrance oil in and the alcohol in, and you're done. So no worries about identifying the base, mid, or top. With essential oils, however, you obviously do need to identify, and I'm simply going to give you a shortcut so you don't have to research. Complete guide to essential oils, A to Z. Now this is, wait a minute, let me just show it to you what this actually is just this neat little printout I have. It tells you the name of the essential oil, for example, agarwood here, and it tells you the perfumery note, which is basically if it's a base note, mid note, or top note, and it tells you the family of the essential oil. Now this is really handy. This is I just took it from Wikipedia for you guys, and I find this to be really helpful for people who are just starting out. I will leave a link to that in the description, so don't worry. You can download the PDF file, you can even get it printed out, and all of that good stuff. So that is how you identify it for your essential oils. Now, what about your aroma chemicals if you're using them, obviously? Now, there's a plethora of aroma chemicals in the market, and the best practice, since there's so many options available, is it's virtually impossible for me to tell you about every single aroma chemical like I did with essential oils. That list that I just showed you had all the major essential oils in it, and it tells you what essential oils are: base notes, mid notes, and top notes. But that is impossible to do for me for aroma chemicals. So the best thing to do is do your own research on whatever aroma chemical you plan on using. Just do a Google search, do a Google research, look it up on YouTube. That is the only option that is available to you when you're using aroma chemicals, right? So that is going to be it for the video. Again, guys, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you like this video, recommend the channel to your friends, and check us out on Instagram and Facebook if you like the video. And this is going to be it. I'm going to see you in the next video of the series, which is going to be the last installment in this mini perfumery course. So this is August Lightsperfume.